welcome to our latest edition of Bengals Nation. Gary Miller and Chris Rankel with you. Now, before we get it over to Mike Hilton and Von Bell, and we have a special birthday guest today, so stick around to find out just who is celebrating a birthday today. But before we get it over to them, remember that we're in person on Wednesdays, but the show airs on Saturdays. So in between is that Dolphins game, so we won't talk about that tonight, but we have to talk about the first win of the season against the Jets on Sunday. So let's get it over to Chris and the guys for that.
Thanks, Gary. Mike and Von here as always every week here at the Kroger OTR Eatery. Guys, coming off a win, first win of the season. I know you guys weren't panicking out there, but getting that monkey off the back, getting the first win, how much easier does it make this week?
It made it very easy this week. Just getting the first dub, just getting the roll of the things, and just getting that mindset of the guys back, and so everything can run smooth. But it's a great feeling to get that first win of the season.
You know, it rebuilds that confidence, get guys ready to go again, and, you know, that was a big one for us after those first two, so we're ready to keep it rolling.
Now, the defense, statistically, you guys are playing great. Top 10 in most categories. You're able to shut down that passing attack that had a lot of success. What was working against the Jets out there?
Guys just flying around making plays, and really just knowing the nose what we've been harping throughout the week. Just their DNA plays, just going out there, just reading the indicators and sets and formations, and knowing the situation throughout the downs, and just really knowing it and going out there and believing and trusting it and believing in the guy next to you to make the play.
Yeah, what he said, you know, it's all about communication for us. Just talking pre-snap to alert your teammate. We've been doing that well over these last couple of weeks, and when we had opportunity to make plays on the ball, we did that. So now we're just trying to take it one game at a time and keep building.
Now, Von, I gotta say something about this. All right, watching the game, you were laying the wood out there. I know that's something you don't get to do a whole lot in today's NFL. How did it feel to be able to smack those guys around a little bit, let you go?
It felt pretty good, but Coach Charles Burke gave me a little nugget before the game. He said, "Be violent today," and that was the first thing he told me, and I said, "Let's ride."
Mike, did you notice? Do you guys notice when he's able to get somebody like that?
It is noticed all around. He's one of the heavy hitters on the team. You know what I mean? When Von hits you, it's gonna send a message. So when we know when 2-4 makes that boom, it's time to match that energy and get going.
I think there's a former Pittsburgh wide receiver who knows something about that too. Are you the enforcer? Can we call you the enforcer of the defense? Is that somebody else?
Yeah, it's him.
He's the enforcer.
He's not going to say it without me.
I'm not going to say it.
Defensively, again, since that Cowboys game, you guys haven't given up a touchdown, able to keep the Jets out of the end zone. What is it? What is it about this defense that makes you guys so good so far?
It's all about growing together. We feel like from last year to now, we've grown so much as a defense. Guys really know what their partner is doing, so they're alerting things pre-snap, and it's just putting us in position to make plays. And when we all make a play, you see how excited we get, and it just shows the type of defense that we have.
Now, every great defensive backfield has a nickname. You know, you had the Legion of Boom, you had the SWAT team. Do we have a nickname for you guys yet or no?
Cleanup crew.
Cleanup crew. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Money on the floor, yeah.
I like that. Cleanup crew. Got to get T-shirts made or something.
We already got some.
Oh, you already got some. All right, you beat me to it.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
All right, with that, let's send it over to Gary Miller, who has the head coach, Zach Taylor.
How much of that reaction that you guys had in the Meadowlands did 0-2 fuel?
I think just we don't take winning for granted. You know, so when you can win, you got to enjoy it because you know how hard it is. We'd felt the heartache and just, you know, how it felt on Mondays after those losses. So we want to be sure to enjoy the wins, but we got a short week, so we got to put that one behind us. Take the lessons we've learned from the first 3 weeks of the season, try to also win against Miami.
Playing with a lead for the first time, pretty remarkable for this offense into Game 3. It made a lot of difference, not only in what you guys could open up and play call, but also for the defense, didn't have to play from behind.
Right. You know, they saw more drawback passing game. They can pin their ears back, get more hands on the balls. You saw a lot of the turnovers we had. And we had our hands on more balls than that. You know, we felt like we could have walked away with a couple more interceptions particularly. So our guys responded well to playing with the lead and handling it the right way.
You talked about Logan Wilson having been a safety, having been a receiver when he was in high school. I mean, it's almost, and when you think about his interceptions over the course of his career, he seems to have a sixth sense for where the ball is. Do you see something in him that not everybody has?
Absolutely. You know, guys that have spent that much time catching balls and reacting to balls as a safety, as a receiver, that those those reps add up, and they're able to make you make more plays on the ball and feel more comfortable in space, twerking your body, because he's done that as a receiver over and over and over. So it's not surprising to see him make those plays because we know he's capable of it. But you don't take for granted how uniquely special he is as a pass receiving linebacker.
I'll ask Zach about the special bond between himself and his coaches, especially that marriage with offensive coordinator Brian Callahan.
Faux Rocks Locks, sponsored by Hawksworth.
Time now for our Full Rock Locks and a birthday boy.
Hey, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. 58 going strong.
Yeah,
I would have said 21. You
Okay.
look like you're ready to go out there and play.
present. I gifted you another losing week for
I know.
me.
Isn't that bad?
Yeah,
I won.
the Chiefs lost to the Colts.
I thought you were assuring.
That's what I thought.
You were sure.
I'm the kiss of death, that's for sure. But I'm going to try it again. Because the Bills lost, I think they're going to be mad. And even though they're playing the Ravens, I always wanted the Ravens to lose, and the Ravens have done me in before, but I'm still going Bills at Baltimore.
Okay, wow. Then I'm going to take, because I was hurting last week. I had the Bills beating
Nobody's hurting like me.
the Dolphins. That hurt. I just knew that was a sure win. But I'm going to take the Jets beating Pittsburgh. Anytime
Little bit of hate
Pittsburgh
behind
plays, I'm betting anybody against Pittsburgh. But I'm going to take the Jets because I think the Pittsburgh's giving the Jets 3 or 4.
Yeah,
So I'm taking the Jets over Pittsburgh.
You deserve it for your birthday.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to keep this winning train going now because I'm 2-1 so far. The Raiders have not won yet. They're 0-3, one of the last teams not to win. I like the Raiders. They're favored at home against the Broncos. I'll be honest, the Broncos haven't really shown me much with Russ at quarterback. The Raiders are due. I'm taking Vegas.
Getting Defensive, sponsored by Blake Maislin.
And we got a special guest this week. We got your middle linebacker. Can't remember the number of tackles he had, but he had a big interception. Y'all give a round of applause for number 55, Logan Wilson.
Get loud for him. Get loud for him.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, what up, Lo?
What's up, Logan?
What's up, man?
Man, being a multi-talented athlete, receiver, safety, linebacker, place kicker,
Versatile.
all state too.
All state.
Place kicker.
It's in Wyoming, though. Let's not,
I'm sure some
saying.
good football out in
It's
Wyoming,
good football
though.
out there, huh?
Who said that? Yeah.
They know. See,
Yeah.
They know.
Got some
do
Wyoming
know.
shout-outs.
What was your favorite position?
Corner.
Corner on the
Corner.
island?
So you can hold the island down. All right.
Maybe not at this level, but at that level, yeah.
All right, so let me ask you, man. We started off 0-2, but we got it right this past Sunday. How you feel we're starting to build and get this thing going?
Yeah, I mean, we got to build off last week, and obviously it's a short week this week against Miami, but, we're going to build off it and keep getting those turnovers.
How you feel about the defense or where we at as a unit wise?
Yeah, I think we got the best group of guys on our defense, truthfully. The camaraderie couldn't be any closer with our group of guys, and I think that anytime that we go over adjustments on the sideline, there's no panic from anyone, and that's big time for us on defense.
To show how versatile you are, I actually seen a stat. Since 2020, your 7 picks leads all NFL linebackers, and that just shows how versatile you are, man, how much of a ball hawk you are. And coming from us, we appreciate it because you make our job a lot easier on that middle, man, for real.
You be
I
stealing
appreciate
some
that.
of them too. Huh? I'll be like, oh, Logan right there. I'll be like, oh my goodness.
But man,
appreciate
like I
it.
said, we building. We're 1-2 right now. What do we got to keep doing to turn it around?
For defensively, I think we just got to keep forcing turnovers. You guys know we always emphasize that. Probably Jermaine Pratt's the biggest dude emphasizing that. Get the ball.
Get the ball.
But I think that's a huge point for us to get that ball back to our offense as much as we can, and just control what we can on defense and limit the explosives.
I got a question for you. How was playing with Josh Allen? He's a star in this league.
Oh, he's a goofy dude. He's so fun though. He's just a little kid in a big dude's body. But when I play with him, he was just super raw. I mean, obviously he's way more polished now, but He was really raw back then, but he could still throw the ball a mile. So he's not changed in that aspect.
Big arm.
Yeah.
Well, Logan, man, we really appreciate you coming on, man. You know, like I said, we got a lot of respect for what you do for us in the defense, man. Being the Mike linebacker, making all the calls, setting the defense, like, it's a lot on your plate, man.
Appreciate it.
You the guy to handle it, man, so a lot of respect.
Appreciate you.
For sure, man. Appreciate you.
Earning Your Stripes, sponsored by Rally House.
What is the key to Taylor and Callahan?
I think we've got a great relationship that goes back since 2005, and we've communicated over these 17 years now that we've known each other, work hand in hand, and I think it's rare that two guys that think the same way and can be brutally honest with each other, you know, and not have any thick skin or carry over there. So Brian's just been a tremendous resource for me. He's the same guy every single day, works his tail off, always gets our offense prepared, always helps put me in good positions, you know, that I can respond to well. And
No offense, but a lot of times the best coaches were guys that didn't stand out as players. So Troy Walters would be the exception. What makes him such a great coach?
He is incredibly down to earth. He has no ego about him. He pushes those guys every single day. Even though they're as successful as they are, he doesn't back off. He doesn't say, you know, he's not afraid to have those conversations that he needs to have with those guys that you got to have in the receiver room. But they respect the heck out of him because they can see the tape. They can see him doing, you know, some of the things he's asking them to do. And so I think that there's just a ton of respect that goes back and forth between him and the players. Troy and I have known each other since 2010 or 11, I think. I loved working with Troy the first time around and was doing everything I could to get him back on staff here. And so the right opportunity came and he took it, and he's done such a great job with those guys.
When we talk about we're in 11, we're in 12, we're in 13, we only got 11 guys on the team. How would you explain to the layman what the differences is in those formations?
So you know you're always going to have 5 offensive linemen and 1 quarterback. So now you're just, who are the other 5 people on the field? We always say how many running backs we have in the game and how many tight ends we have in the game. And then based on that, the number's always got to equal 5, so you know the amount of players left is the receivers. So if you say we're in 11, we're telling you we got 1 back, 1 tight end. What number's missing? 3. There's 3 receivers on the field. If we're in 12 personnel, we got 1 back, 2 tight ends. What equals 5? We need 2 more players. There's 2 more receivers. If we happen to be in 23 personnel, we'd have 2 backs, 3 tight ends, no receivers. So that's just a quick, efficient way for us to communicate what personnel we want in the game. The receivers, it's ingrained in their brain. 11 personnel, TB's on the field. 12 personnel, T and Jamar on the field.
The head coach
You're
takes
gonna
his
see us with
telestrator,
these-
drawing up how Trey Hendrickson won AFC Defensive Player of the Week honors and Logan Wilson's latest interception.
Coach Taylor's Breakdown, sponsored by EverDry.
The Jets. The first one here is a 3rd and goal from the 12. Never a situation we want to put ourselves in, but we had a penalty, a holding penalty, so it took us back a little bit. So here you're going to see us. We're going to run these swirl routes here on the goal line by T and Jamar. TB's going to run the through route, and then we got back and tight end in the flat. I thought it was really good protection up front. If you watch right here, really nice protection up front by our 5 offensive linemen. And Joe, really the concept's just not open. We're going to have to throw on time. They're underneath these windows here, so the only option is going to be a check down to Samaje. So Joe buys some time, scrambling, does a great job keeping his eyes upfield. Samaje does a great job just making himself available right there on the goal line as his man falls off, and we're able to get our first touchdown of the game. So you can see here, this is just tremendous protection here by these offensive linemen. You know, fighting their tails off, keeping a firm pocket. It can look like he's under duress because the play takes so long, but just really good job giving Joe an opportunity there. This is a protection we've talked about endlessly against these guys. You know, it's going to be a overload, so they're in a giant front over here on one side. They're going to leave a defensive end on the other side, and they're going to bring 2 backers and a safety. We call that a triple plug. So we talked about this all week, the giant triple plug. Really emphasized the protection. You know, it's this nickel 42 personnel was something we were alert for, so our 2 protecting backs did a great job. So the offensive line blocks their 5. Samaje takes the first hitter to his side, which is 56. Hayden is scanning back across for the safety, coming from depth. And Joe does a great job sitting there with poise. You can see he still keeps his eyes down the field. Great throwing motion, even though he's getting wrapped up by LaMarcus. And you can see TB here. He's got man coverage, does a great job stemming in vertical and then flattening to separate, to create separation on number 30 there. And is able to shrug off a hit and go finish the run. So really good stuff to see there by everybody on the entire offense right there. Made that thing work, and then TB finished it off. So good stuff there. Then you look at the defense. Okay, so early on we're in a Tampa 2 look, and you can see we just get great pressure. Trey gets pressure off the backside, beats the left tackle. Even though he's getting chip help by the tight end, he still gets past the tight end, beats the left tackle, and does a great job getting after Flacco and knocking the ball free. And then BJ Hill collects one of his 2 fumble recoveries he had for the game. So great job by Trey, great job by BJ, really good coverage downfield by those guys in the Tampa 2. Now you're going to see another shot at Tampa 2 here, same thing. They're going to try to attack the middle runner here with their slot receiver, so the safety's getting width here, so he's going to try to take a shot down the middle. Logan does a great job as the run-through Mike and makes just an outstanding play. You don't see many linebackers make that play. That's a safety that makes that play. That's a high school receiver that makes that play. All the things that Logan has done in his past show up here, but what's even more impressive is he's mugged up over the center. So he can rush out of that look, and now you're going to see him, let's see how deep he is, 10, 20, 30, about 30 yards down the field, 32 yards down the field, sprinting from a mugged up look over the center to get all the way down there and pick that ball off is really impressive by Logan. And then the last play here, they're just going to run halfback choice route, which they've done a couple times before. Vaughn does a great job triggering, so even if he does catch it, he's going to be in their position to hit him and try to knock that ball out. We got a Sang, tips and overthrows. We got to get those. And so this tip ball right here by the back, Jesse's in great position. And then situationally, we always talk about under 2 minutes, no timeouts. Defense gets a turnover, we call it downtime. Just go down, don't try to go make a play, the game's over. And Jesse does a great job executing a situation that we talk about often.
We check back in with Zach Taylor one final time as we are headed towards the goal line on Bengals Nation.
This is my glory.
Chris's Star Matchup, sponsored by Gold Star.
For my matchup this week, we're in an interesting predicament because the Dolphins game's on Thursday and we're not quite ready to start talking about the Ravens yet. So our matchup is the Bengals defense against the Bengals offense, and I'm talking during practices, training camp, and everything else. We've seen since training camp started, this Bengals defense looks pretty good and statistically top 10 in most defensive categories in the NFL. The offense has had a slow start, but going up against a great defensive front like Trey Hendrickson and elite defensive backs like Jesse Bates has helped them get ready for game day week in and week out. And it's something QB1 Joe Burrow knows is all too valuable when the game kicks on Sundays.
You can never have peace of mind. You're out there, you might have a 5-yard hitch route, but Cheeto's not going to let that one go easy. He's going to try to punch at the ball. He's going to make the tackle. He's going to make it a contested catch. That's what our guys are doing a great job of. And then, obviously, our pass rushers are going to do what they do.
Keys to the Game, sponsored by Kia.
Zach, I don't know of a profession that's more on the clock and regimented than football, especially in the head coaching position. But then you get situations like week 4 where you've got a 3-day span, but then you get the long span before your next game. How do you adjust to those differences?
Well, you get an opportunity to reflect back. It really comes at a good time for us because 4 games are under our belt. It's the early part of the season. So you get a chance to look back at those 4 games and do some scheme evals on yourself, do some self-scout tendencies, and then get some bonus time to prepare for your next opponent, which happens to be a divisional game for us. So those are all things. It comes at a good time for us, week 4, to get the mini bye, try to clean up some things that you've done over the first 4 weeks and get yourself ready for the next 4 before the big bye.
Now you got your first year as a professional, as a married man. What's the biggest change?
The biggest change, it seemed there's not a whole lot of difference between pre-marriage and being married now. You know, I still try to prioritize spending time with her as much as I can. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is trying to balance all the football stuff with your personal life.
And the dogs?
They're surviving. Oh, they're doing great.
Logan, you obviously went to college out in Wyoming. I started my career out in western Idaho, so it's kind of different out there. What's the weirdest thing you have to explain to these guys about your experience in Wyoming that they probably wouldn't believe?
Well, they probably originally thought that we rode horses to school, so that's a negative. We don't do that.
You didn't? You never did?
No.
You're saying you never did that?
No, I did. Not me personally. Some people probably did, yeah, but not me.
I wondered, we got SEC, we got Big Ten. Do you guys in the locker room...
I didn't even say mine.
Do guys in the locker room take pride in their, like
Everybody
say,
knows
yeah.
where's the best conference.
So
the
what's that
SEC.
like for you, Logan?
I mean, there's not many people on our team from the Mountain West Conference, so it's a little different.
So you gotta put up for them then.
For sure. Yeah. I just let them know how many people we have in the league, and then they respect it a little bit.
Well, how do you guys decide if SEC or Big Ten is better?
Just go look at all the national championships. Obviously, it's been more Alabama, those guys, but if you check the records, SEC has more than Big Ten.
I don't know about this. I'm 1-1 versus the SEC, 100%.
You ain't play us though, so
And I won a national championship.
You do got a natty.
He may trump you by being on the team that actually.
He does have a natty.
You guys got some primetime games coming up, obviously. When the lights are shining, do you feel that in the locker room? Like when those primetime games, those big games that everyone's watching?
Definitely, because knowing, number one, all your peers are watching. If you want to go show what type of player you are, and if you're the best player at your position, why not do it while everybody's watching? So it's just knowing, having those lights, it's just bringing out that confidence and that excitement.
Definitely feel the energy, but you go out there, you want to make plays with your brothers and go to war with them, and because you go in and week out, you put the preparation in, you put the time in together, you see each other work out every day, you see the ups and downs, you see the process growing every day, so you just want to go out there and just have fun with your guys and just let it all show on display.
The interceptions are supposed to go to the cornerbacks and the safeties. This guy's been leading the team now for the last couple of years. When it comes to contract time, how much do interceptions mean? What do they mean for a linebacker?
Brinks truck.
Brinks truck. And Logan is definitely loading up the Brinks truck. His ball hacking ability at the linebacker position is crazy, man. You show how athletic, the way he attacks the ball, high points it, jumps, routes. He just does a lot of things that most linebackers can't do.
For sure. Always making game-changing plays consistently. Just got the football field, the IQ, knowing the situations, and just have a knack to find the ball. And this is a special talent that he's just showing it week in and week out.
This is one of my favorite segments. We get all you guys together. Logan, it's so great of you to come on to getting defensive with our guys here. And we're here every Wednesday night. You can come on, see the guys. We've got some autographed merchandise for you that we'll raffle off, as well as other gifts, and then join us every Saturday night on Bengals Nation.
Hooray!